we're going to come on to Liverpool in a minute because there's a lot to unpack and we've got two Liverpool fans on. But there's another question I wanted to ask, which is, we'll ask the fact and fiction first because the situation is I wouldn't say it's overly complex, but Ben Jacobs said earlier on today that Arsenal are trying to drive the price down of both Gyökeres and Šeško. But if they succeed in driving both prices down to an acceptable amount, which is around 60 million for Gyökeres, because that was the gentleman's agreement he had, and around 70 million, this is euros, by the way, for Šeško, his belief is that Arsenal will go for Šeško, not Gyökeres, which marries up with what Simon McBell has said, what what's his name, Plattenberg has said, and a few others. There are other journalists that have said it's going to be Gyökeres, but Ben Jacobs has kind of put his, now he's flagged to a mast, as it were, and said Šeško. That being said, and we'll talk about that, but the fictional football question for this, and I'll throw this to Tom, is Benjamin Šeško is poised to make a bigger impact in the Premier League than Viktor Gyökeres.
Fiction in all capital letters, thank you very much. One of them has scored a grand total of 12 goals this season. The other one has been competing with Mbappe and Salah for European Golden Boot. One of them has a compilation, like a goal compilation set that wouldn't look out of place in a Darwin Núñez one. The other one has every type of goal from any type of position within the 18-yard box. And when I listen to Arsenal fans tell me what they need, it's a striker who's going to get in the box, get on the end of all the chances they create, and score the goals. Therefore, who do I pick? The one who, across 30 goals, has scored 3 of that kind, or the one who scored 22 like that in the past, season, pretty much. This is what we're comparing. Benjamin Sesko hits the ball really well, and that's all he's got on Viktor Gyökeres. That's it. He might win a couple more headers as well. That's it. Gyökeres is a better finisher. He's better at hold-up. He's more of a box threat. He reads the game better. He's got more experience. He's more proven. Everything that Arsenal want. Arsenal cannot continue to keep pushing this project along and going, we'll buy another project piece and then we'll wait 2 years. We'll buy another project piece and we'll wait 2 years. Start, go and win now. Viktor Gyökeres is available. The man has scored pretty much 100 goals in 2 years. And you're turning that down for Benjamin Sesko, who has scored in the same time 25. That is a quarter of the goals in a league that isn't that much different to the Portuguese league. Now, either Darwin Núñez has done irreparable damage to that league's reputation, and especially strikers in that league, or Arsenal are making the wrong call. To me, Arsenal are making the wrong call. Viktor Gyökeres is available. Guaranteed goals. He's done it in the Champions League as well. So any concerns that, when he plays a good team, he's done for, he's crap. No chance. This is a man who got a hat-trick against Man City this season. Hat-trick. And they were all, two solid penalties and a really well-taken first goal. This is someone who in the big games, in the small games, in finals, and everything you want, turns up and bags. I do not see how they are sitting there, especially when they have Kai Havertz, who does all the link-up and stuff anyway, which they're saying Sesko can do. If you already have that at your club, get something different. Gyökeres can run lines. Gyökeres can be a threat in the box. He is the perfect piece to go along with it. I do not see how they're picking Sesko over Gyökeres. I think it's a massive error. Massive error.
So to sum up, you're saying fiction then?
Yeah, basically.
Not
I think
sitting
so.
on the fence or anything, Tom, no?
No, maybe I might change my mind, obviously.
I think Gyökeres is a better player. I think you've gone too far with it, though, Tom. Personally, I think people speak about Sesko like he's the worst striker in the world. He's not a rubbish footballer. He's not a rubbish striker either. He's actually a good striker. The question is, who fits better into the system Arteta wants to play? Also, do they have time to hope that Sesko realizes his potential as well? But also, there's an argument to say the Portuguese league is one of the worst leagues defensively, so it's quite easy to score goals there. We've got a player in our team who made it look pretty easy to score goals there. Is there an argument to say that Gyökeres is living is a big fish in a small pond? I don't think he's as cut dry as people make out. Sesko is not a dead footballer. He's not brilliant, but he's not dead either.
And he hasn't always been number one as well. They had Leipzig had
And the formation they play.
Pender.
Sometimes he plays in the one of the 2 10s behind a Pender as well. Not a dead
So
foot.
you're just giving me more reasons to avoid him. Why would I want someone who plays in the 10? I don't need someone who's playing in the... If I'm buying Eze and I've got Odegaard and I've got Havertz and I've got Waneri, I don't need someone else whose USP is, he's a striker who can also play like a 10. Not if you've got all these creators behind, which is what I'm constantly told by Arsenal fans. Last year, their main problem was they didn't score the chances they created. They created loads of chances. They should have won all their games. Look at the PSG one. They beat them on XG 3 times, but because they didn't have the guy up front to put it in the net, they didn't go through. So what you want to do when you're offered a guy who knows exactly how to put it in the net is turn it down for Slovenian Kai Havertz. Why is that your move? How is that the move you're making? You are getting offered the man to fix your problems, the man who's for the past 4 years in both the Championship and League of Portugal and in the Champions League showed you exactly how to score goals at an obscene rate, and you're going, I'll pass on that. Because you know what I want? I want another Kai Havertz, because Kai Havertz has worked so well, winning me nothing so far. Let me just do another one so I've got nothing to change to. If Kai Havertz isn't working, I'll bring on another Kai Havertz. Can you see why it doesn't make much sense?
But Sesko and Havertz are nothing alike. They're nothing alike. You're playing style.
They're quite similar. I'll be honest. You watch them play, they're quite similar.
For me, Sesko's got a more powerful shot. He's probably a better finisher than Kai Havertz.
I will tell you right now, Havertz is a better finisher than Sesko. I would rather have Havertz in front of goal.
He's got more pace than Havertz. He's got better natural striking instincts than Havertz. It's day and night between how they play. They're nothing alike.
I would rather have Kai Havertz finishing a chance than Benjamin Sesko.
I wouldn't. If that was the case, then Arsenal wouldn't be trying to upgrade on Havertz.
Yes, which is why they should be going for Gyökeres, someone who I think is a better finisher than Havertz. Let's even just take my dislike for Sesko out of it.
Henry, what do you make of that? Do you think Šeško is as bad as Tom is stating?
No, but I do agree with Tom. They should get Gyökeres. I do think they'll get Sesko. I mean, he's got... The argument is he's played in the top 5 league, whereas Gyökeres hasn't, although he has played in the Championship, which is very physical. He hasn't always been the out-and-out number 9 because they had Luis Openda, who come out of an unbelievable year in France, then moved to Leipzig, and his record is very, very good. They've put him out on the left, which I don't necessarily think that's Sesko's fault. They've just played him there. They played him in the 10. He's been very experimental, but he has got double digits for goals and assists the last 2 or 3 seasons. But that's not what Arsenal need. I think, Callum and Tom are both right in what they're saying. I don't think Sesko's as bad as Tom makes out. But Tom is right when they need someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. And this is the best guy out there. He just won the European Golden Boot. 97 GA in 108 games, or 97 goals in 108 games. Stupidly good record. I don't think Liverpool fans will be sitting there if Benjamin Sesko signs for Arsenal going, we're worried about our Premier League title next season. If Arsenal sign Viktor Gyokeres, I think that's a completely different situation. I think you're bringing in a guy that will match Erling Haaland's numbers in a team that create a bundle of chances. I still think Hugo Ekitike is one to watch as well. I think a lot of things have been linked with him. Arsenal have obviously, it's a domino effect. If they go and get Sesko, does that mean United get Gyökeres and then Liverpool go in, and if they can't get Isak, get Ekitike? I think people are saying Sesko's miles clearer than Ekitike. I think Ekitike is the better number 9. Just throwing another name in there because talking about strikers. But yeah, I think Sesko will end up at Arsenal. I said that to you last night, Terry, on here. I think Gyökeres is one to watch. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool go in for him.
If we go in for Sesko?
No, Gyökeres.
No, Gyökeres.
Oh, I was going to say, if we get Sesko, I'm not coming back on here, by the way. That would be me done. That would be me done with streaming.
I get that, but let me throw this at you as a Liverpool fan. I get you don't like him. That being said, you're someone who went mad about Endo, ended up being quite a good buy in terms of actually quite useful. I rate that you liked Ruben Amorim, but you were quite angry when you ended up going for Slot. He ended up being really good for you. Would you not trust the men that you have been on your knees for double teaming and gagging on for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
That's
Would
a
you,
big pause, Terry. I'm not gonna lie.
mate, his knees are red raw.
Whoa.
John Henry in the corner filming it. Do you know what I mean? Like, this man has been on them, right? Would you, if they went, Šeško is the man to lead our line, why would you not trust the people that you see? Like, would you not even objectively give it time because of people that know more than you and you trust rate him?
No, I do not rate Benjamin Sesko whatsoever. I have watched multiple years of him now. I will have this argument with anyone. I am willing to back any striker my football club buys except Benjamin Sesko because I don't see the point in it. I really don't. You're just doing the same thing over and over again.
Who do you think's
I
better?
do not see anything different from Benjamin Sesko that I did from Nunes. So I'm going to treat Benjamin Sesko exactly what I'm seeing. He is someone who hits the ball well but can't finish. He's someone who has a bit of link up, but it's not the greatest. And again, this is my whole overarching point. I don't think he's a good striker. He's a versatile forward. He's not a good striker. Arsenal are in need of a good striker.
Let me ask you a question, Tom. I'm going for the jugular here. Name me the last 6 teams you see him play against for his club.
Leverkusen, us. I saw them play a game.
So remember here, don't just name German teams that you know off the top of your head.
No.
I'll change it. The last 6 games you watched him play away in order.
Last 6 games I watched him play away in order. It was like Leverkusen was one of them, and that was towards the start of the season.
Hang on. So if it's the start of the season, that's one of the last games you watched him play away from home.
No, because we're going like 6th away game. I'm not saying I watch Benjamin Sesko every week, but I've watched a fair amount of Benjamin Sesko.
Do you watch Gyökeres every week?
I did. There was a period of time when I was watching Gyökeres every week.
Was that when you were watching Amorim? You were watching Amorim every week because you want him as manager. So that's fair. That's fair. Like, again, I don't claim to watch Šeško every week. I may have watched him play maybe 10, 15 full games. I saw Hassan brought out stats about the potentials that he sits in. He's here and there. But those types of things are always a little flawed. A little flawed because it depends on who you're playing with in the team system and tactics. For instance, you get the Premier League stats up. I saw some stat about a defender. You'll find loads of defenders in the bottom half of the league that have made more tackles and made more interceptions than Van Dijk every year. But that's because they have to defend more because their team isn't as good. So you can't always rely on those types of stats. But I don't know. I do agree that Gyökeres is the better deal. I just don't think Benjamin Šeško is as bad as some people are claiming he is. I actually think what you're going to see in the Premier League in both playing for a better team. So I think you'll see Gyökeres come to the Prem in a good side and he'll score lots of goals, but it'll be nowhere near 97 goals in 2 seasons. It'll be more like 50 to 60 max across all comps. Where I think you'll take someone like Šeško, if you make him the out-and-out 9 at an Arsenal, the out-and-out 9 at a Liverpool, I think you'll see a player go from getting 12 to 13 goals in all comps to getting maybe 25 in all comps. I think there'll be a much closer gap. And then over the coming season, I don't think that by the way, that number I gave for Gyökeres was over 2 seasons. So you're talking around about maybe 30 goals in all comps a season. I don't think there's going to be this huge difference in them next year. And we're probably going to test that theory because I think both will end up in the Premier League in one way, shape or form. And I think they'll both be in decent teams. And then we'll see. But I don't think, and I could end up being wrong, but I just don't see there being this huge gulf where one of them is looked at like he's Harry Kane and the other one is looked at like he's Weghorst. Because you're talking about him like he's Weghorst. And he's so much better than that level of striker, I think. Terry thinks United are getting Gyökeres. Well, that isn't what I think. I mean, look, there's rumours that Liverpool are coming in. If Liverpool come in, Man United and Arsenal can kiss goodnight to him, in my opinion. But that's not there's no confirmed report of that yet. There's some saying yes, some saying no. But if Arsenal do pick Šeško, if Ben Jacobs is right and Arsenal pick Šeško, and if Liverpool are not in for Gyökeres, then I do think Man United will get him. Yes, but it's stipulated that Liverpool don't go anywhere fucking near it, and Arsenal, in my opinion, make a very slight mistake by picking Šeško. But we will see.